Denmark is very soon going to reach 100% of country being online, which means end-to-end connectivity. He was also telling the challenges that it brings.
There are other really cool organisations out there. So if you look at like the GSMA that have done a lot on the Child Safety Protection Act or whatever,
Correct.
you know, they're much more on the retail mobile side.
So, I mean, you have seen this industry up close. I'm sure you have seen telecom evolve from the nascent 2G, 3Gs to where we are today. Seamless communication across the globe, where people can just pick up phone, do WhatsApp. I can feel that I am with my loved ones across the continent.
Yep.
Where do you think this is heading to? I mean, where do you think is the future taking us?
Oh, that's a good question. So within the GLF, we produce a paper called Tomorrow's Telco.
Sure.
And where the real mission statement or North Star around that is seamless endpoint to endpoint connectivity that is
Sure.
network agnostic.
Sure.
Because, when we're looking at kind of implementing automation or, soon AI across the network, all of these different types of things,
Sure.
it means that we're going to see a mind shift actually in the way that our networks interact with each other. So
Right.
at a network level,
Right.
we're at a real inflection point. We're also at a time when
Beautiful.
the most amount of capacity from a fiber and a subsea perspective is being brought online around the world that
Right.
we've ever seen before.
Right.
The risk there is more cable cuts are happening. There's challenges from a geopolitical perspective.
Yeah.
And as an industry, that goes against what we do, which is keeping the world connected. So
Yeah.
how do we continue
Yeah.
to connect people,
Yeah.
as you say, so you can talk to your loved ones,
Yeah.
whilst having the resiliency and the redundancy in our networks
Sure.
to ensure that we're protected.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
Yeah. So, I mean, very valid point and answer. But I was talking to another host on the show, and he was telling that Denmark is very soon going to reach 100% of country being online, which means end-to-end connectivity. He was also telling the challenges that it brings. Probably the digital fraud, the cyber fraud. People getting too influenced by social media and all of that.
Yeah.
Do you think GLF as a body will also be doing something to bring more awareness in terms of cybersecurity or in terms of safe use of internet and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, we represent more at kind of the network layer, right?
Right.
So yes, we do have a network security working group,
Beautiful.
which is very closed door. And really what the purpose is of that, so we have the network security leads from all of the different networks around the world
Sure.
that alert each other when new attack vectors are coming up, or a different type of carpet bombing that they hadn't seen before is kind of coming down the chain.
Right.
And that way we're kind of collaborating to try and solve issues and
Sure.
serve our customers
Sure.
before things kind of come to a head. So
Beautiful.
yes, there are other really cool organisations out there. So if you look at like the GSMA that have done a lot on the Child Safety Protection Act or whatever,
Correct.
they're much more on the retail mobile side, whereas we're more focused on that B2B or enterprise layer.
True. So I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of bodies in that, and this whole thing is evolving, right? I mean, as technology evolves, the challenges evolve, and
Right.
we're all working towards, making it more safe. This brings me to the next segment, which is more of, I ask my guests about their, personal questions around, their hobbies and things like that. So
Okay.
let's get to that segment.
All right, okay.
So if I would say there are 3 things that Annabel loves to do during her free time, what are they?
Oh dear, what are they? So I'm a massive bookworm.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm always reading.
Wow.
And I specifically love reading in the bath with a glass of wine. That is genuinely my favorite thing to do.
Beautiful.
Otherwise,
which was your last favorite book that you read?
Ooh, I've just finished the Silo trilogy. I really enjoyed that.
Beautiful.
I like kind of where that philosophical application of kind of sci-fi, I suppose, to the human condition. I find that really
Beautiful.
fascinating.
Yeah. Nice. What's the second thing?
The second thing, okay, dancing. I love to dance.
Beautiful.
I love dancing. Going dancing with friends or by myself, listening to music. That's
Very
always
nice.
a really good thing to do.
Nice.
And the last thing is probably I'm a nature freak, so hiking.
Wow.
I do, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm a country bumpkin. So.
Which was your most favorite hiking in the recent past?
Ooh, so I'm really lucky. Where I live is in the middle of a village in Sussex.
Oh, nice.
And in England right now, we've got this phenomenon where our woodlands get covered in flowers. And just up the hill from my house, there's one of the most beautiful woods that's just carpeted in bluebells.
Oh my God. Okay.
Amazing. And you get
Nice.
hit with the smell and the color. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If somebody had to describe 3 most beautiful attributes about you personally and professionally
Gosh.
as a leader, what are they? Very disciplined, very target oriented. What are the 3 things?
The 3 things, I think passionate,
Awesome.
supportive,
Sure.
and probably quite challenging at times,
Very nice. Yeah.
Only because, I think when passion goes 2 ways, right? I'm very
Sure.
enthusiastic. I like to lead from the front, and
Sure.
sometimes people get a little uncomfortable about that, right?
Wow. Okay. The last one, which is your most favorite weekend activity? Do you binge on Netflix? Do you go for hiking? What is your most favorite thing that you would love to do?
What's the most favorite thing that I love to do?
Yeah.
Ooh,
In your free time?
It's reading. Honestly, I'm in a book all the time.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Amazing. So, before we get to the end of the our podcast, what is that our guests should expect in the coming years from ITW? I mean, I know
Right.
not just ITW, right? You run a very successful media arm. The magazine. You do a massive outreach on the online, the newsletters, everything. So, what are the transformational things that they should
Yeah.
expect in the years to come?
So it's really exciting. And actually, last week we launched Techoraco, which is our first time we've actually put a parent around all the different digital infra communities that we own and operate. So ITW, Capacity, Tower Exchange,
Wow.
Datacloud, and the GLF.
Wow.
And what's that enabling us to do is actually look and see where those communities come together and where they don't. So,
Sure.
for example, right now we're doing a huge amount of work looking forward to ITW Africa, which is in
Sure.
Nairobi in September, and then again to ITW Asia in December.
Yeah.
There's a lot of focus on power, right?
Wow, yeah.
So we're doing a huge amount of work right now, kind of understanding what the grid makeup is across Africa,
Beautiful.
because at ITW Africa this year, for the first time, we've got Tower Exchange Meetup Africa, Datacloud Africa,
Wow.
ITW Africa, and the Digital Infra Power Summit all happening at the same time in the same city.
Awesome.
And that is just going to open up such a world of possibilities, because we found, and one thing I love about our industry is that
Sure.
on the wholesale side, that we're a community, that
Sure.
we're a close community.
Sure.
And sometimes you kind of need to just like lift your head up sometimes
Yeah.
and go, oh, that's interesting. What are the hyperscale doing? What are the data centers doing? How is
Sure.
Equinix's strategy going to impact me in Nairobi,
Beautiful.
And that's kind of what we try to deliver and,
Wow.
and think through all of those types of things. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So we get to the last question in the segment. I typically ask leaders like you because you have built successful businesses. You have helped large organizations. Zeebu, as an organization, we run something called Zeebu Labs, where we give away grants, we help with funding, we connect ecosystem, we bring customers for all the young entrepreneurs and startups.
Amazing.
So for all the aspiring entrepreneurs, what would your message be? How do they become successful? What is your secret mantra?
Do you know what? I think it's treat people with respect, actually.
Beautiful.
Because you know, you never, your customer today might be your employer tomorrow, or vice versa.
Beautiful.
You always think that the industry is bigger than it is.
Right.
And
right.
it's not, right? So
Right.
forge those relationships.
Amazing.
And, you know, be respectful in all of your dealings.
Amazing, amazing. Annabel, thank you so much. I know this has been an impromptu chat for you. I didn't prep you. I didn't tell you that we are going to do this, but I know you are extremely busy in the hectic schedule, and I'm so grateful that you took time. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us.
I've had a great time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.